We are live in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey. No chill, Prano.
Good morning, Andy.
How goes it, Joe?
I'm hanging in there. Nice little overcast Venice Monday.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna have a rainy week, but I do like getting up and walking outside, having a flannel shirt on. Feels nice. Bilbo's over there in a flannel shirt. It's just it's flannel weather.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm in a nice Dirty Sports Thust, the Process t-shirt.
Yeah.
Feeling good. And
How was the rest of the broadcast yesterday? After I tapped out and went to crush his first birthday.
it was good. We got in a few interesting discussions. One
You and your son.
one about how holding the microphone closer to his mouth,
Okay.
and then
So a lot of dad stuff still.
and then a Kuzma discussion.
Kuzma. Okay. What was the Kuzma discussion? What did I miss?
This has been an ongoing Andy Ruther and Nick Dale debate about Kyle Kuzma and how I think he'd be a better player if he were playing elsewhere.
My argument is
As in on a worse team, like if he
As
was.
in, like, if he was in a Brandon Ingram type situation.
my argument is like I'll want your opinion because I actually was like, I wish Joe was here for this. My argument about Kyle Kuzma is the argument that because he scores more points because he's on a shittier team
Yeah.
doesn't make him a better player.
Yeah, I mean, he's also. I think the comp that like if he got swapped out in a Brandon Ingram type situation, would he be statistically a little bit better? Maybe. He certainly doesn't have the creativity that Brandon Ingram has. He's not a great creator. And the thing about Kuzma is he's not hitting his open shots this year. It's like, dude, if you're a good outside shooter, or you're a good jump shooter, you're getting a ton of open looks and you can't make them. Like, what the fuck's happening?
And that was my big.
I mean, I think that we've all seen many times that you can be a good player, go to a shitty team, and excel.
and that means
I
nothing
don't
to
think
me.
I don't think Devin Booker would be scoring as much points on the Lakers as he does on the Suns. But how much better is Kyle Kuzma if he's on the Denver Nuggets?
I think he's a lot better.
Why?
More opportunities, I think.
In what sense?
So my argument here is Kyle Kuzma's young, and he comes into the league, and he's playing with the best, highest-level basketball players in the world with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, which I think is a big step in his developmental process.
Dude, again, and my counter argument.
But how does that affect him negatively?
Yeah.
He's got a great.
He has
passing.
open looks. That was my
He's
point.
got the greatest passer ever running his offense. They can work from the inside out with Anthony Davis.
Dude, this argument, it just makes no sense. This is the argument that I used yesterday. Anthony Davis and LeBron give him more open looks. They give him open shots. He's not hitting them like Joe's saying.
Then why didn't the Brandon Ingram experiment work in Los Angeles?
Well, first of all,
They
again,
played 50 games together.
also don't believe Andy Ruther. The Brandon Ingram experiment was working in Los Angeles. Like Brandon Ingram was decent in Los Angeles. He's significantly better now that he's on the Pelicans because they're essentially running the offense through him as their number one scorer.
So this is what I'm saying with Kyle Kuzma could happen. Why can't you run an offense through Kyle Kuzma?
Because
on a
he's
different
not
team?
as creative and he's not as good as Brandon
He's
Ingram.
not good enough.
And I don't know what team. Yeah, you could if he was on some
What if he's on the Grizzlies?
Yeah, if he was on the Knicks, I guess, Kyle Kuzma's stats could go up significantly. But I don't know if they do. He's not a creator. And the thing is, if you're a catch and shoot guy, and if you're what Kyle Kuzma should be, which is a catch and either shoot or a catch, pump fake, and slash guy, he's in a great situation for that. He's just not
Executing.
Yeah.
He's not executing. And that's just a bad comparison.
Brandon Ingram's just a pure old scorer. Like Brandon Ingram is a great scorer, and despite Ruther trying to curse him, he always had that ability.
Well,
he was just super young.
Well, and also, as much as I have dissed Brandon Ingram in the past, Brandon Ingram's a top 3 pick. Brandon Ingram was a star who went to Duke. Kyle Kuzma was a second-round pick who went to Utah.
Yeah.
So there really isn't, as far as from a raw talent level comparison, there really isn't one between those two guys. Kyle Kuzma, at the end of the day, we saw it again yesterday. He finished with, I think, 8 points, 10 rebounds because he did some stuff off the glass. He's just not hitting open shots. And that is the best possible situation for him. Like Joe's saying, LeBron's getting him the open looks. He's just not executing.
Again, it's easy to it's easy to score a ton of points on a terrible team, but like I don't think he wants that either. Again, my argument would be put him on a team in between terrible and the best team in the West. Put him on the Nuggets, put him on the Jazz. Like I just don't know how much he improves and why. Like what is he doing on the Jazz that he's not doing on the Lakers besides getting less open looks? He's still going to have a big man in Gobert clogging the middle. He's still going to have, Donovan Mitchell be a guy that they defer to more. So he's going to be playing in the middle of those two. Is he that much better? And if so, why?
I'm not hard on this at all. Like either. I don't know why we're starting off with this. All I'm saying is
because your
I
dad's
think
upset
Kyle
at
Kuzma,
you.
What's that?
Your dad's mad at you. He's
No.
upset.
Yeah.
He's upset at his son having hot takes.
No. It's not. We had a lengthy discussion, and we're just continuing.
I mean, I've said what I had to say. I don't know why we're still doing this. But we
Joe
can leave it right here.
Joe just asked what we talked about yesterday after he left, and that was a huge discussion, which again I said I wanted Joe to be a part of, and he is now. That's why we're discussing it.
This is why the show's going to go 2 hours.
No, it's not going to go 2
All
hours.
right, what else we got?
I want to talk about that game. That's actually a great segue. We called the game live yesterday, the Battle of L.A., Clippers, Lakers. It was a hard-fought game. It was sloppy, bad shooting. Both teams at half were both 2 of 14 from three-point range. The Lakers pulled it out in the end, led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And that was the difference. And there's some crazy stats before we jump into it, Joe, that I want to read that I saw, which if you're a Clippers fan, it's got to scare you a little. Yesterday during that game, the Clippers bench outscored the Lakers by 12 points. They shot 9 more free throws. They had 4 more rebounds, 6 more offensive rebounds, 8 more points on fast breaks, and Kawhi and Paul George had a combined 58 points. So they both played well, and the Clippers still lost by 9. Are you concerned if you are a Clippers fan?
I don't think you can be concerned if you're a Clippers fan all that much because, again, like you said, you're not going to sweep your cross-hall rivals. And you up to that point, I think the stat was they were 10-0 when they had all players available, on a not injury basis. So you've got to, this is like watching a stock. Everything is trending up. Did they have a down yesterday? Yeah, but you've got to feel good about where you are as an entire team as the Clippers. Now, again, the Lakers-Clippers battle is something that most people think is going to be a playoff series. So really, like I said yesterday when we did the live broadcast, learning something about the other team in this game, if you're the Clippers or the Lakers, is almost as important as winning the game itself. Yeah, having bragging rights. Yeah, getting a little momentum. All that is important, but a lot's going to happen in a 7-game series. You got to pick something up. If Doc Rivers, and I've been critical of Doc Rivers. I like Doc Rivers as a person. I think Doc Rivers is a good coach, but I also think he's a highly overrated coach. The one thing that I will give Doc Rivers credit for, I think Doc Rivers is a good coach in terms of, like, he can take something from that game. I don't think he's a good X's and O's coach within a game. I don't think he's making a lot of great adjustments within games. He's certainly not calling a lot of great plays to end games, but I feel like he has the ability to learn something from that game. So, like, if I'm the Clippers, I'm not panicking,
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. It seems like they played a pretty good game, they certainly, in a lot of aspects, outplayed the Lakers, and still it wasn't really all that much of a game in the final minutes.
Yeah, and then
But they had their opportunities, and
for
they
sure.
just didn't capitalize.
Well, they
them.
couldn't
And,
hit shots.
and a couple different shots go, and like you said before the show started, like Avery Bradley had a big game. Like, can you count on that from an Avery
No.
Bradley every game?
He's not hitting.
No, you can't. But also, if you're the Lakers, what's got to make you feel good is you know what you're going to get from LeBron. You hopefully know what you're going to get from Anthony Davis. You need that one other guy to be able to step it up. Who is that guy? Is it going to be Bilbo's boy, Kyle Kuzma in a playoff game? Is it going to be Avery Bradley in a playoff game? Is it going to be, who is going to be the guy? Because I think one thing that we've seen with LeBron throughout the years is if he does ever get that help, and obviously now he has Anthony Davis, who we should be able to pencil in for a big game pretty much all the time. If he does have the help of that one other guy, he wins basketball games and championships.
Well, that's the thing. You said it all during the broadcast yesterday. We need a great game, a dominant game by AD. He showed up. He had 30 points. It's got to concern you because the other team, their too big two, basically matched with 58 points. They still lose by 9.
And they're a lot deeper. And like you said, if you kind of consider that all those guys are going to cancel each other out and the big two on both teams comes down to bench, you really don't like the Lakers' chances, but they got it done. But LeBron has taken his game, I know there's I always have to preface it now because I know there are a lot of people who get very upset with us whenever we talk about LeBron James, which is always to me hilarious. How do you talk about the NBA, whether it be the Lakers or otherwise, without talking about LeBron James? It's like, imagine doing a basketball show in the 90s and not talking about Michael Jordan. You have to talk about the greatest player that is playing today.
Yeah.
In year 17, at 35 years old, this guy is dominating. It is unheard of. Doc Rivers said that he's never seen it before.
He's never seen anything like it.
So take your fucking cheddar dickery.
Well, ignore them. Who cares?
No, I don't ignore them. Take your fucking cheddar dickery and tweet at fucking Doc Rivers, Steffi business, and all you fucking cheddar dicks out there who are butthurt because LeBron James has taken Michael Jordan's torch and extinguished it by pissing on it. No one's done this before. To lead the league in assists at this age, to be the cornerstone of a team in year 17 is incredible.
It's wild.
It's incredible.
It's absolutely wild. I mean, it is. And Doc Rivers did say it best, saying he's never, ever seen anything like
and
this.
Paul George said it in the press conference, and all these guys said whenever this guy is on your team, he gives you the ability to win. You are a contender by this guy showing up and putting on basketball sneakers.
Here's another great rug nug from the weekend. The Lakers beat Milwaukee and the Clippers. Kind of, I don't want to say easily, but again, those games
they were both games, but yeah, in the end they were 9 and
by the
whatever it is.
There wasn't much doubt in the fourth quarter on either of those games. The Lakers won those games by a combined 19 points while shooting 23.9% from three-point range. So I have all year been critical, deservingly so, of the Lakers' lack of shooting, especially from long range. They beat the two best teams, arguably, what everybody's thinking, the other two best teams in the league, and only shot 24%.
I don't think that that's something that you want to count on happening.
Sure.
Especially over the course of a series. But, again, it's all about the matchup, and in the Clippers aren't a crazy three-point shooting team. They don't have a ton of guys that are just knockdown shooters. There's a few teams that are built on that. But you've got to kind of consider that if you're the Lakers, you should be able to handle a Houston Rockets team, even if you don't shoot well from three. Again, a lot of people are penciling it in. I'm not necessarily penciling it in because I think that I think both the Lakers and the Clippers have some deficiencies. I think the fact that neither of them are the crazy three-point shooter, a lot of things can happen in a playoff series. I still think, a Rockets team, a Nuggets team, a lot of other teams in the league could get hot and be a challenge to either of those teams. But you got to figure if you can get through rounds 1 and 2 and get in a Western Conference Finals against one another, that it's going to be a very defensive series.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm looking ahead. We're down to the final 20 games. If you look at the matchups right now, it's a lot easier path for the Lakers.
Sure.
They'd get the Grizzlies in the first round, and then they'd get the winner of a Jazz.
Which, by the way, isn't an easy series.
No, I'm not saying
but,
it's easy.
Yeah.
I'd take Lakers in 5, though.
Sure.
Then the second round matchup would be either the Jazz or Thunder, whereas the Clippers' first round matchup is the Mavs. The Mavs are very sneaky dangerous, and then they would get the winner.
And that's a great example of a team with Luka, with Porzingis, with shooters. That's a team that they get hot from 3. You could be losing a first round series. I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah.
But like the Rockets, if they start falling in a couple of games, you find yourself in a 6 and 7 game series. Anything is possible.
Yeah. And then that 3-6 matchup is Nuggets-Rockets. Again, a second-round matchup for the Clippers from either of those teams.
Yeah.
You could be talking 6-7 game series. And as we've seen before, the longer these series drag on, it hurts you in the long run because there's fatigue when the playoffs come. But I think the Lakers, to me, in a way, they have so many role guys. I can kind of see some sort of comparison to last year's Raptors, even though the Lakers have 2 stars. Because if you looked at the Raptors last year, right in the playoffs, wasn't that kind of how it was? You knew Kawhi was going to get his, both offensively and defensively. And it was how many guys can step up enough.
Well, yeah, but also, you look at that Raptors team. It's I know, he sort of went national with his name, but Siakam's a star. And he kind of really was a star last year, although he goes, like I said, he makes headlines with how he plays when the whole world starts watching in the playoffs, but he's a great second player. And then also a lot of their role players a lot better than the role players the Lakers have. This is something LeBron James has had to deal with basically his entire career. Is he's forced to play with these cast-offs, guys who used to be good once in a whatever, and now it's like Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley is their third scorer last night. Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
Avery Bradley was the 9th man on those, Memphis and fucking Celtics teams.
Yeah. Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo, Danny Green.
Yeah.
Guys who've had their moments, but are definitely towards the latter end of their
Take
career.
everybody's 6th guy, and they're like, who's going to be your 3rd guy?
If I'm a Bucks fan, I'm worried, though, man. Just something.
What are you worried about?
Just something about them. I don't know, man.
Are you worried about them getting out of the East?
Yeah.
So look at what does their path look like right now?
First round matchup against the Magic. The 4-5 in that conference is a Heat Pacers battle.
Yeah, you don't love that, but you gotta like it a little bit.
I don't know, just something about them. Now they've lost 2 in a row. Granted, Giannis did not play yesterday. They're obviously gonna have the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Just I don't know, something about them as a team.
Gun to your head, are you taking them or the field from the East?
The field,
Really?
without a doubt, no hesitation.
Who do you like more than the Bucks? The Celtics? The Raptors?
I can see the Celtics.
I don't know how. I mean, they lost Kyrie Irving.
It's a great segue, Joe. It's a great segue.
Yeah. Great segue into locker room cancer Kyrie Irving.
I mean, he really is. There was a great article.
But Andy, he's fucking, his handle is so sick. He makes lefty layups that you've never fucking seen before.
There's a great article on CBS Sports written by Brad Botkin, and the title says, Kyrie Irving didn't single-handedly get Kenny Atkinson fired, but his fingerprints are all over the Nets drama. And he breaks down, I was like, does this dude listen to our podcast? He basically breaks down in his article all the things that have happened with Kyrie in his career. From, like you're saying, how he's...
From being the second fiddle and the guy that, again, look at LeBron James right now with Anthony Davis. He has said, this is Anthony Davis's team. We are running through this team with Anthony Davis. LeBron James, if you want to say he's a flopper and you want to say he's not as good as Jordan, you have to give him credit for always adjusting his career in a way that it best suits his team. He is now an assist guy. Like, there is certainly the opportunity here if Kyrie Irving and LeBron James are still playing together, that if Kyrie Irving knew his role, he could be the leading scorer on a team with LeBron James right now.
Yeah.
So, again, coming off of a championship, runs himself out of town, removes himself from a team with the best player in the world.
Because he wanted to be the man.
Wanted to be the man,
Goes
to a place
that had exceeded expectations, and that's what the article says.
Yeah.
Again, everything we've said. The Celtics, who had made it to a Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals, playing with all these young guys that meshed well under Brad Stevens' system. The addition of Kyrie, everyone thinks is going to improve the team.
Well, not everyone, but a lot of people.
It hurts the team.
Yeah.
They regress.
Not everyone. Just remember that. Not everyone.
Most people.
Yeah.
Not Joe Prano.
I'm just Joe Namathing my way into the tunnel here.
Not Joe Prano.
Not Joe Prano.
The Celtics regress as a team last year. And now
don't forget, first, they excel when Kyrie Irving gets hurt and doesn't play in the playoffs. They take LeBron James and the Cavs.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
To a Game 7.
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals. Kyrie comes back. The team gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie leaves this year. The team is better again. Kyrie goes to the Nets. Kyrie only played 20 games this year. The Nets were, again, it's fascinating. Like he said, all the fingerprints point to Kyrie with this Kenny Atkinson firing.
When he's not even playing.
And when he's not even playing, and here's what else is fascinating with the Nets situation. The Nets were a rising team last year, as we recall, right? Yeah. They were a surprise team that nobody saw. Again, just like the Celtics, a very similar situation. They exceeded the expectations. Kyrie joins the team. In the 20 games he played, they were 8-12. And now their head coach is fired. And guess what? I did not know this till I read the article. The head coach is also one of the reasons they got Durant, supposedly, because Durant had said how much he liked him. And Durant's on record talking about that.
And now Durant has not played a single game as a Net, and the coach is already gone because of Kyrie.
Yes. Allegedly.
And Kyrie not playing. Kyrie done for the year.
You know what I liked about this article is that it's basically saying, this is kind of the premise of what he writes, is that Kyrie needs, and he goes back to the LeBron situation, he says he needs a mega star to mask all the baggage that he brings. LeBron did it sufficiently enough in Cleveland, and he begs the question, can Kevin Durant do that? Is Kevin Durant the guy who can basically cover Kyrie so Kyrie can kind of hide as the number 2 and still be productive and still get the team to play well together? And that kind of is the big question mark for the Nets moving forward.
Well, as I said when I said that I didn't want, as a Knicks fan, I didn't want Kyrie and KD. And as I said when he signed with the Nets, Kevin Durant and a dribble-heavy, shoot-first, me-first point guard, what could go wrong? We're acting like we don't know. We're acting like we don't have Kevin Durant in this situation in his career.
Yeah.
And hearing for 5 years, does Russell have to go? Does KD have to go? How do these two coexist? Can they coexist? Can they win together? They're now both gone. Neither of them have won. KD obviously went, but that great example of no one would ever call Steph a me first dribble heavy point guard.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like Kevin Durant as a basketball player, and I like obviously Kevin Durant has some personal issues with the way, the blog boys and all that stuff. But you hear Kevin Durant talk about basketball, and you hear him how all he wants to do is study. How does he not know that he's good friends with Kyrie or whatever? But
you know what
this
it is.
ain't it, man.
You know what it is. We all know. Kyrie is the hot girl at the bar. That you know. You know she's a little crazy. And you're like, man, she's so hot.
But she's on the record as, I don't give blowjobs. I don't pass the ball. That's not my thing. Not a sharer. Not a giver. Me. I don't. I just don't understand. Again, I've said it. I've thousands of replies on the I don't want Kyrie on the Knicks. In this day and age, what are you doing with a shoot-first point guard?
But it's not even that. Again, you're talking more of the basketball sense. I'm just looking at from all these circumstances, which, again, are highlighted in this CBS Sports article of this is what happened in Cleveland. This is what happened in Boston. Now it's happening in Brooklyn.
But it is the exact same thing. The line is getting blurry between how he handles himself off the court and how he handles himself on the court, but it's the same issue. He's selfish.
Yeah. That's the problem.
It needs to be me. I need to be the guy. We need to go someplace and do it together. Let's go, blah, blah. Dude, you were playing with the best player in the world. He was getting ready to pass the torch to you in terms of you will be the leader of this team.
Yeah.
Let's just win a bunch of championships together.
Well,
couldn't do it.
What Kyrie was, you see this a lot of time in the entertainment business with actors. They want to be the guy or the girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They leave the sitcom, the hit sitcom, because they think. Remember when she left? It was a big deal because she thought she was going to be a star. Katherine Heigl. What show was she on?
I have no idea.
One of those popular shows.
Okay.
But she was a prime example.
The hospital show.
Yeah.
Right.
Grey's Anatomy?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my point is these movie stars or their agents or their managers or whoever they are, they get it in their head.
Meanwhile, Steve Buscemi works forever.
But that's what I'm saying. They're part of ensembles and they work well together. And sometimes people are propped up and they're better. Okay, take somebody. Would you call Jonah Hill a movie star, or is he always? I think Jonah Hill's a big star, but I think he's always great with somebody else.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure. I think you're mixing metaphors here, and you're confusing a lot of stuff. The bottom line is, this isn't about Kyrie Irving, again, necessarily wanting to be there. It's just the simple fact comes down to straight up style of play, 2020 NBA. What am I doing with fucking Mr. Dribble a lot? What am I doing with him? There's only one Mike D'Antoni who's going to go, give me a guy with a skill set, I'll figure out how to use it. There's only one guy, and he's already got a point guard, and he already took him from Oklahoma City, and he brought him there, and he fucking did something. And then he took the other guy, and now he's using but what am I doing with Mr. Dribble all the time, never pass point guard? What am I doing with it? Losing games because he likes to get to the rack? 3 is greater than 2. By the way, Kyrie, a great catch and shoot guy.
Yeah.
Refuses to catch and shoot.
Won a 3-point contest.
Refuses to catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Refuses. What am I doing with you? I sell all of my Kyrie stock. I've been selling it forever. No one listens. The Nets didn't listen. The Celtics didn't listen. Am I more qualified to be the GM of the Nets than the Nets GM? 100%.
Yeah.
Bro, what are you going to do with this guy? Get your coach fired? Injury prone. Dribbles too much. Locker room cancer. He's out for the season. He was underperforming. He's out for the season. He got your coach fired. What are you doing with this guy?
It's kind of impressive, if you ask me. To get your coach fired while you're not even playing.
He had people, and no one ever blames Kyrie.
Well, I think people are starting to.
Until now, it's like talking about last year was is Brad Stevens not as good a coach as we thought he was? No, Kyrie fucking sucks, man. What am I doing with an AND1 star in the NBA today? Cool. Hot sauce. You just lost
Kyrie Irving is hot sauce.
50 games in the NBA.
Yeah. That's what he should do.
Mikey Ryan, Devin Springfield, all the people who fucking came at me.
You remember
I'm right. You're wrong.
You remember all their names.
Oh, I remember all their names.
Mikey Ryan, Devin Spring. You know what your list is? You ever go
at Mikey_Ryan11?
You ever go to the you've been to DC?
Max Scheneker 44. Devin Springfield 22.
You ever been to the Vietnam Memorial?
Sure.
You know the list of names of all the people who died? That's like your list of names of Twitter handles.
Yeah. Yeah.
A Prano never forgets.
And sometimes I do forget, but then I can just put in like keywords and find the people, which is always really fun for me too.
Well, Joe, you're getting all worked up about Kyrie. I am all worked up, and I am very, very hungry. I cannot wait for this show to end so I can cook some of my delicious butcher box meat. That quality meat that they ship it right to your door. How convenient is that?
I mean, this is the model these days, and the reason it's the model is because it's great. I don't have to go anywhere. The meat just shows up to my door.
To your door.
Delicious meat.
And for somebody who can't walk right now,
yeah,
how convenient is the meat showing up to your door?
Everything has to be delivered to my door.
Everything. Guys, every month ButcherBox ships a curated selection of high-quality meat right to your home. All the meat is free of antibiotics and added hormones. Each box has 9 to 11 pounds of meat, enough for 24 individuals. I love it. I really do. It's great meat, it's high quality, and it's affordable way to, let's see if I can read. ButcherBox is the most affordable and convenient way to get healthy, humanely raised meat. Right now, Dirtballs, take advantage of this offer. ButcherBox is offering new members ground beef for life. That's 2 pounds of ground beef in every box for the life of their subscription, plus $20 off their first box. Just go to butcherbox.com/dirty or enter promo code DIRTY at checkout. That's butcherbox.com/dirty or enter promo code DIRTY at checkout. Once again, new members get ground beef for life. 2 pounds of ground beef in every box for the rest of your subscription.
I love it. It was I don't know what, like maybe a month or so ago now that we got our ButcherBox. They sent us some free samples, and I still have meat as one man.
Yeah.
Like I'll go into my freezer and I'll be like, oh, I think I'm out of food. Every time I go in, it's like a magic freezer. That's how much food ButcherBox sends you. It just always seems to be in there.
Ground beef, really the LeBron of the food industry. You know, you can really do anything with it. Put it anywhere, it's going to produce for you. I mean, what you want? Hamburgers? Got it. You want some meatloaf, sloppy joes, meatballs? What do you need? Ground beef.
Pasta bolognese.
I gotta expand my beef cooking. By the way, I'm lacking. I just do the burgers. I don't know how to do the meatloaf.
Well, ground beef casserole.
Pasta bolognese. You make regular pasta and sauce, but when you put the sauce out to heat, cook some meat in there and dump the sauce over it, and then just let it all simmer together. Get some meaty sauce. Pour that on pasta. Boom, pasta and meat sauce.
Love it. Sounds delish. I want to talk about this new Rams logo for a second.
We got to talk about. We got to go to the big news, which I thought we were going to start with, but I know we wanted to cover the NBA. We got to talk about this
Oh, go for it.
coronavirus canceling the tennis tournament.
Sorry, I completely forgot about that.
It's huge news. I mean,
it's not huge news that it's canceling the tennis tournament.
It is huge news that it's canceling a tennis tournament. It's
Is
canceling
it?
the fifth major, they call that tennis tournament out at Indian Wells.
It's called the fifth major?
Yeah. The fifth major, it's the single biggest tennis tournament in the United States of America behind the U.S. Open.
Okay.
450,000 people attend that tournament.
I did see that.
It's a massive tournament. It goes on 2 weeks. It's the sole reason that I go next weekend to Fantasy Springs is so I can go to the finals of that tournament. It's an incredible tournament. It is probably the biggest thing that happens in the Coachella Valley besides Coachella and maybe, I guess, probably Stagecoach, although 450,000 people, more people probably show up to it than Stagecoach or Coachella.
Probably not, but.
What? 450,000 people is a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah. It's a massive and it's being canceled because of coronavirus. First of all, here's a pet peeve. Stop calling it COVID-19. You're not a scientist. Just call it coronavirus. It's being canceled because
Who's calling it COVID-19?
I know. Somebody the other day, somebody messaged me and go, "Did you hear the tennis tournament was canceled because of COVID?" It's like, all right, doctor. Can we just call it coronavirus? This is huge news, and the reason I think this is huge news is because if they're canceling this, how soon before they start canceling things that from a more
I agree
sort of casual sports fan
I agree
standpoint.
I am concerned. South by Southwest was canceled.
Yeah,
that was huge. I mean, that brings in
There's apparently one case of it in Riverside County, which is where close by to this tournament, and they're canceling it because of that. And honestly, from a sports standpoint, I mean, look, you've got baseball games, I think, in Japan that they're playing the entire season without a crowd. Like, why aren't they playing this tennis tournament without a crowd? They're just canceling this tournament?
Look, I said it on yesterday's live broadcast after I did my Andy Ruther deep dive in the last week. The amount of people who were killed by the regular flu, the LA Times did a great article kind of saying why. They're explaining why everyone's freaking out about it, but because they don't know. There's too many unknowns with the coronavirus, but I agree. We were just looking at flights before the show started. This coronavirus, flights are so cheap because nobody wants to fly. So this notion that you're going to cancel an entire tennis tournament, and Joe's right, the NBA put out a memo last week to prepare teams to play games with no fans.
I mean, think about it. 450,000 people go to this tennis tournament over the course of 2 weeks, right? So it's 14 days, 450,000 people, right? So call that what, 30,000 people a day? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
That's about how many people show up to Staples Center. 20 to 22,000, whatever it is.
Seats about a little over 18, but whatever.
Okay. Sure. So give or take. Over the course of 2 weeks with the Lakers and Clippers, you're getting about the same amount of people to Staples. Are we going to start canceling NBA games? Are we going to start playing them without crowds?
I don't think about it. And I don't know if that's naive, but again, we're going to the Ducks game, courtesy of a DirtBall, courtesy of Zach. He works for the Ducks. We're going to the Ducks game on Wednesday, right? The thought didn't cross my mind, oh, my God, we're going to a Ducks Blues game in an arena. You know what I'm saying? The coronavirus.
Because a million people visit Venice Beach Boardwalk. Are you going to start licking people's hands?
Well, and I mean, my back street, Mildred, is literally full of homeless crackheads with feces. That's not even an exaggeration.
It just seems to me like this is and you can look this up, but oh my God, an election year virus. Oh, some crazy news story to fucking distract us from whatever. It's like,
you know what I think it is? I think it's, we talk about cancel culture, Joe. To me, it's a blurred line with the cancel culture we live in / freak out culture. Everything is over exaggerated and blown up.
I thought we were gonna. I mean, is the World War III with Iran? Did we get out of that?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was what, January?
It's January. Yeah, it's a good point. We completely forgot about that. But that's my point. It's on to the next thing. And dude, if you go, I've gone every day out of curiosity. I've gone every single day to the major news websites to see their headlines. CNN, literally every single day for the last 10 days, their lead story is about a disease that has killed, 25 people in our country?
Yeah.
If you really want to put things in perspective, it's so overblown. And I am concerned as a sports fan. They're canceling a big tennis tournament. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when March Madness, which is just rolling around the corner?
Kentucky Derby's early May.
NBA playoffs right around the corner.
Baseball season starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah. There is one caveat. I want to say the coronavirus has not affected the XFL, just nobody's showing up. That's what that is.
By the way, how's the XFL doing?
You mean how was it? I mean,
Why, did you go to a game?
no, I didn't go to a game, but I mean, this thing is crashing and burning before our eyes, and no one's noticing it.
He put on a game last night, like background noise for us. We were both kind of doing our own thing, working. It was in L.A.
It was an LA game.
Oh, you should have seen the crowd, bro.
Nobody there.
It was a great game too. Like it came down to the final possession.
Yeah.
Teams on the 1 yard line about to go in and tie the game up. They threw a pick, and 4 people saw it.
And are there reports out there about how these things are performing?
The only positive report I saw was St. Louis was getting enough people that they were going to open the second upper deck.
Great. The St. Louis folks who lost the Rams
Yeah.
are supporting. L.A., surprise, surprise, who has 2 football teams, one of which they don't support already, is
Yeah.
not supporting now a third team.
Yeah.
I've said from the beginning, fuck Vince McMahon. So I hope it fails.
It's just NBA or NFL is king, man. I just don't even know how you even come close to getting near.
Well, and the thing is, I don't even think that the NFL is king necessarily from like the product being great. I think the NFL is king because it's just generations of people that are, brought up within this. Like, if you're a Steelers fan, your dad is a Steelers fan, and his dad is a Steelers fan, and it's just like, we are Steelers people. We are Browns people. We are, like, and basically, if you're anybody but the Browns or the Bengals or the Vikings, you have some glory days within 2 generations of your family. Oh, you should have seen it when we were in the 90s. We won all the Super Bowls. Oh, you sure, Dad? Because the Cowboys haven't won a playoff game. No, it's great. You should have seen it. It's like there's just years and years of this built-in, like, love and, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like this, like, devotion to these franchises, which the quality of the XFL isn't great, and who gives a shit?
Well, another factor I just think people, for some reason, don't think about is this. I consider myself an avid sports fan, and even more NFL. Like NFL is my thing. I love the NFL, right? I have the Sunday ticket. I have 3 TVs watching the games. I've done that for years. What they're not putting, like, what they're not thinking about, Joe, in my opinion, is I love it, but by the end, I'm ready to have my Sundays back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, there is such a thing as football fatigue.
Yeah.
And for some reason, nobody wants to talk about that. So my take is this. When football ends, for 5 straight months, it's 5 months, basically September through January, if you want to go through NFL playoffs, after 5 months of me watching games, not only on Sunday, but every Monday night game, every Thursday night game, after 5 months of doing that, I say, thank God.
Yeah, I saw Yoshi, your boy, at the Comedy Store on Saturday, and he was like, I always get so depressed when football ends. And I was like, nah, I don't, because you get a break. and you get to build up. And that's why I get so excited when
Yes.
September comes around again. It's because I've been without football. The idea of like band-aiding myself through the offseason with the XFL. I've watched 10 combined minutes of XFL football.
So, you guys think the issue is that Americans can become desensitized to football to a point with the XFL?
I just think that there's no devotion whatsoever to any of these teams. And again, like, I actually don't even think the quality of play overall in the NFL is all that high right now. So then you're taking a level down from that. And this goes to like my argument about college basketball. I think the level of play in college basketball is garbage. I think it's bad. I think it's bad for a number of reasons, mostly because the elite teams don't have players that stick around, and the teams that do have players that stick around don't have elite talent. So it's like bad across the board, bad coaching because they're not. But people are so devoted to those teams. I've been a Xavier fan my whole life. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Sure.
it's still garbage basketball. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't think it's a matter of the quality of play. I think if the XFL had been around 100 years and this was the quality of football, people would be freaking out. Because if you think about it, think about the talent that's on these XFL teams. Like, people always go, oh, could Alabama beat the Browns? Like, I don't think Alabama beats an XFL team.
No, they don't.
Right? So the quality is there, but there's just no devotion.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think it's hard to I think St. Louis is an example. It's hard to get devotion when you're in a place that already has a thing. So St. Louis lost their football team. Now they're filling their arena for their XFL team. Okay, but how do you it's just too hard to build a league around. We're only going to put teams in places that have like recently lost a team or desperately need football for some reason.
But you could. That's where, to me, the problem is. Look at the XFL. You have a team in New York, L.A., D.C., Seattle. They already have NFL franchises.
But where are you putting them?
Amarillo.
Where are you putting them that is going to, like, okay, St. Louis is a big city. St. Louis lost a football team. But are you going to some mid-city? Like, you could put it in Oklahoma, but, like, Oklahoma's got Oklahoma football.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like, yeah, well, now we also got the fucking Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Like, and there's only so many places where it's like, oh, we had a team, but we don't have a team anymore, and blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you.
I just don't know where you're putting these teams to try to, like, get that devotion.
Sure. No, you're right.
XFL viewership, week 1 was 3.12 million. Week 2, 2.05 million. Week 3, 1.6 million. And this past weekend, down to 1.38 million, a 14% drop from week 3. I mean, we get to week 16, we're at like 200,000 at this rate.
I mean, look.
What week are we in?
We're in week 4. We just added week 4.
Look,
amazing. It seems like it's been that longer.
Look, 1 million isn't bad for like a Sunday or Saturday afternoon. If they, from what all reports I've read, if they can keep it in at least 1 million, it's feasible. But once you start dipping below that,
but look, I mean, again,
dropping quick.
It's dropping pretty rapidly. We're at week 4.
Yeah,
we're entering free fall state.
So you and I both said under 2.5 seasons. I think we're looking pretty good right now. Yeah. So
I feel bad for St. Louis.
Yeah,
they're rallying around a team again. The XFL ain't gonna last.
So the NFL,
maybe the one benefit for the city of St. Louis is they are proving they will support this team, and then maybe they should get one back.
Yeah.
Keep what are they? What's the St. Louis? The
Gladiators?
No, they're not the Gladiators. They're like the
Battlehawks.
The Battlehawks.
The St. Louis Battlehawks.
The Battlehawks, an NFL team.
Yeah. So there was a leak about the NFL CBA. They're still having negotiations. And this was such a misleading article. I wanted to bring it to the forefront on our show because everybody's wrong on social media. The headline is, new NFL CBA would eliminate suspensions for positive drug tests, marijuana included. So everyone sees this and says, oh, finally, the owners are taking a right step. They're not going to suspend players for having positive marijuana or CBD tests. This is why it's misleading. It's complete and utter bullshit. They're still fined. So basically, this is what the NFL is doing. This is how it breaks down. You're not suspended, so they don't want to hurt the actual team, but they're still hurting the individual. These are the proposed fines and violations for marijuana, drugs, whatever you want to call it. The first
marijuana, drugs, whatever you want to call it.
Well, to me that's a blurred line. The first violation is a $20,000 fine.
So you got to clear something up for me. Like, what if you get busted with coke? Like, that's still a suspendable offense, or like, what is this adjustment? This is for cannabis?
Yeah, that's a good question. It doesn't specifically say in the article that I read. This includes every substance of abuse the league tests for, from opioids to marijuana. Would cocaine be in that list?
Okay, so anything that the league tests for, but it won't be suspensions, it'll just be fines?
Unless you violate this like 7 times.
Okay.
So the unexcused failure to appear for testing, that's for just not appearing. Let's do the positive test result. The first violation is half a week's salary. The second violation is 1 week's salary. The third violation is 2 weeks' salary. And the fourth and subsequent violations are 3 weeks' salary. So this is what I love, and this is my point. Don't act like, the owners are so good. They're letting players smoke marijuana as they should. They're letting them use CBD oil as they should. Don't get it twisted, guys. That's all BS. They're actually going to take money away from the players. Let them play. Basically say, hey, you can go play this week, but you're not making any money. But we need you on our team because you being out there is going to make money for me.
But also the fining somebody instead of suspending them, no one even notices a fine. Players or fans.
The players?
Obviously, players do.
Yeah.
But fans, I can tell you how many times Vontaze Burfict has been suspended in his career. I can tell you how many times Tom Brady has been suspended in his career. I can tell you how many times. I don't know how many times those guys got fined. Those things just go under the radar. So now the thing is, like you said, the league is getting the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
They're getting your fines, and they're getting players, and they're not getting even really all that much attention for the fact that they're fining guys.
It's such a sneaky.
But now the CBA is there's still a lot of issues with this agreement.
Yeah. Well, the big rumors, I'm sure you saw them, is that the owners supposedly wanted it to fail so that they could come back with an 18-game proposal from 17.
Which no one wants except the owners.
No one.
Fans don't want it. Players don't want it.
I don't want 18 games, man.
Stupid.
I just said I get it.
Nick does. Nick wants 18 games and
I'm
more,
all for
and
rule
more
changes. You guys
and
know
more
this.
playoff games.
I mean, I get fatigue. How many nights am I going to be barred up in here watching football?
1 more week.
2 more. They want 2 more weeks.
Well, it'd be 18 weeks, but there's 17 weeks currently.
Yeah.
It'd be 1 more game.
They don't have a bye?
Yeah, they have a bye. It's 1 more game.
No, I think they want 18 games.
No, they went through this. It would be 17 games,
No.
right?
No. That's what I'm saying. The latest leak is that they want this to fail because they don't want 17 games. The owners
They want 18 games?
Yes, the owners, look this up. The owners want 18 games.
This is dumb.
Turn it into a goddamn baseball season.
Yeah. Every other league is like, hey, how do we play less games? The NFL's like, how do we play more?
But we care about CTE and we care about players' health. Well, if you did, you wouldn't be adding games.
Oh, have they even ever pretended to care about players' health? I don't even know that they pretended that.
They pretend. There's a lot of pretending going on. Have you seen this Rams' new logo? Is this real? Is this Rams' new logo real?
By the way, everybody's freaking out like it's the worst logo ever.
It's
like,
pretty bad.
There's a lot of bad logos. For the last
Bro.
for the last 4 seasons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers numbers have looked like a old hotel alarm clock.
Bro, their new logo looks like a combination of the Chargers meets the Rams.
What it looks like is the settings on like a washer dryer.
Or that.
It's like what this circular twisting thing. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you have a large load, turn to L.
But even this one, I'm showing you this one, which is more of the Rams colors.
But I feel like this is what teams do now. They like leak it to get public opinion, and then it's like, well, no, it was never our logo.
That's the report I heard too. It's that they have a few options, and then they sent these designs to like merchandise people. There's like a hat that went viral, and this isn't like an officially released logo yet. This is just something that was leaked and then got a bunch of viral feedback.
Did they contact the Schiavelli family for their approval?
I feel like Schiavelli right now is like, I hate this, but then if they make it their logo, he's like, what are you talking about? It's the best logo ever. This is the logo my grandfather wanted. He was fighting for this for years. Because no one's ever been more of a homer than Joe Schiavelli. This will be Joe Schiavelli. Joe Schiavelli will be like, I have an argument that this is the greatest sports logo in history. And you're like, but you didn't like it before. Well, now that I've seen it in a different light.
What's the worst NFL logo? You going Bucks?
I mean, no, I don't think the Bucks logo is the worst.
Their jerseys.
But their jerseys are horrific.
Yeah.
The worst logo in the NFL. It's a great question.
I mean, the Browns is just a helmet.
Yeah, the Browns don't even have a logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
The Dolphins' revamped logo is trash. They like had a great logo, and then they try to like modernize a dolphin. Like, dude,
It's a pretty majestic looking.
How do
dolphin.
you make you're taking an animal and they'd be like, what if it's sleeker? Like dolphins, like, but we're not. This is what we look like. It's like, but now we're gonna thin you out. They're like,
we're gonna get you on that gluten dolphin diet.
Yeah, and then who else's logos are trash? I mean, the Patriots logo is pretty trash.
I was gonna say the Patriots.
The Patriots like modern, like the old football snapping Patriot was kind of dope.
I like it.
The modern Patriot logo is trash.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
The Bengals.
Just the B.
Yeah.
Well, the Bengals is a tiger too.
Yeah.
Bengals isn't good.
The Cowboys is just a star.
Yeah. But it's the Lone Star State.
Pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the Panthers logo.
YouTube comments. What's the worst NFL logo? Or just logo in sports?
The Jets going back to their trash 90s logo. That was garbage.
Yeah. This Rams one though. Ugh.
Yeah, it's horrific.
This is just. I think they're just trying to save money. And
what's the best logo in the NFL?
The best logo?
I mean, the Raiders logo is pretty legit.
I was gonna say. I was just thinking.
Steelers logo is pretty legit.
Yeah. Those are some good ones. Those are also like long, like long-term franchises have been around for a minute.
The Washington football team logo is pretty good.
Racist.
Yeah.
So Prano, Justin Verlander has been shut down. What's happening here?
Yeah, left the game yesterday, I think, with like tricep soreness or lat soreness or something like that. But just was removed from the game against the Mets yesterday, and now has been shut down indefinitely. And they're saying that his opening day status is questionable.
You know what?
So
I don't wish injuries on anybody, but fuck the Astros.
yeah, Astros, the wheels are coming off.
I love the highlights.
Yeah.
It's a lot difficult when you don't know the pitch. It's a lot more difficult to bat.
Yeah. Yesterday, Thor just freezing guys.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And look, Seth Lugo, who's a reliever for the Mets, he was on the record a couple weeks ago, last week, I think, as saying, like, he remembers pitching against the Astros last year or the year before, whatever year it was that they had the AL West in interleague, and said, I remember thinking, man, I'm pitching a pretty good game, and they are just fucking hitting it. He was like, I feel like I'm making my pitches. And he goes, now it all makes sense. And you saw it yesterday. I mean, no doubt Noah Syndergaard's 98 on the corner is difficult to hit, but
Yeah.
makes it look especially difficult to hit when guys have no fucking idea what's coming. And really, if they had never known what was coming, I think it would be a different story. I think this is going to hurt them a lot.
As a team?
Yeah.
See, there's that whole notion a lot of people are claiming, oh, the Astros are going to rally around that they are.
So far, it doesn't look like that.
It does not. That they are, public enemy number one. It's going to make them play even better.
It's a 162-game season. The thing in baseball is that it's really about being able to go to work every day through the grind.
Yeah.
The hardest part of baseball is how many games you play, that it happens in the summer, that you play 6 games a week. You basically get 1 day off a week, if that. Sometimes you go weeks at a time without a day off.
Yeah.
It's a grind. Add to the grind, add to being a guy who checks in at a factory every day and punches a time clock. When you show up, everybody yells, you fucking suck.
Yeah. That wouldn't be fun.
No, it's going to be hard.
I agree. People don't realize that 162 games where people are yelling at you. Now, some of those are home games, but good luck when you have the Yankees at home and some of these big markets. It's going to be flooded with opposing teams' fans. I'll be real curious to see how they play come regular season.
Well, we'll go see them down in Anaheim.
That's right.
Will Nick still be here for that? Is Bilbo?
What?
Will you be here for April?
Oh, I'll be here for April.
Nice.
Where's he going?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Where's he leaving?
I don't know. Like you're talking about You're talking about moving to the South Bay.
Whoa. Just don't be putting that out there. I'm talking about.
So you finding a 2-bedroom for you and your son
I mean, I got plans in May, so
here in L.A.?
yeah. So
Nice.
I'm talking about relocation. Yes.
might be on Mildred soon.
Do not go on Mildred. I would not allow that. I would not wish that on anybody. You talk about teams relocating. The Dirty Sports Network is looking into relocation. We discussed it yesterday. Nothing further to be said. It was discussed in the live broadcast. And those are some of the great nugs you get.
Smutty Estates. Welcome to Smutty Estates.
Smutty Estates.
A 3-acre compound in Los Angeles' South Bay area.
Yeah. Get me out of here. Joe, the beard is
Yes.
back in full force.
It is. I took off the mustache post-surgery. And basically this is all a way to hide the regrowth of the mustache. But as you know, the most important thing when you have a beard and a mustache, almost more important than just having a face like yours where you keep it mostly shaved,
Yeah.
is you've got to keep it tight. You can have a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow if you keep a clean shave. But when you have a mustache, everything else has to be clean. When you have a beard, this top cheek's got to be clean. This neck's got to be clean. And I make sure to do that every day. Maybe if I'm keeping it kind of clean shaven-ish, I'll shave every 3 or 4 days. When I have the mustache or the beard, every day I break out my Harry's razors. I take down the neck.
Yeah.
I take down the top. Just make sure everything's popping.
Keep it looking good.
Clean lines.
Yeah. The great part about Harry's is they offer premium blades as low as $2 each, guys. It'd be like a 50% off sale happening every time you went looking for razor blades. That's how great a deal Harry's is. It keeps Joe nice and fresh. Look at you, looking all fresh. Thank you to our friends at Harry's. 100% quality guaranteed. If you don't love your shave with them, let them know, and they'll give you a full refund. How many places offer that? A full refund
Not many.
if you don't like what they have to offer. Also, 1% of proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping provide access to better health care for men and veterans. So they're helping out the vets. Everybody wants to talk about helping out the vets. They actually do it. And best of all, guys, Harry's has an amazing offer. Harry's has an amazing offer for all the DirtBalls. New customers get $5 off a trial set at harrys.com/dirty. Throw it in the comment section, Nick. Let everybody see that, please. That's harrys.com/dirty. You'll get a 5-blade razor, a weighted handle, foaming shave gel with aloe, and a travel cover. Join the millions of guys who are already saving money and go to harrys.com
Already shaving money and saving money.
/dirty to claim that offer. Okay, Joe. Dirtball calls?
Sure, let's do it. Is that the portion of the show we have arrived at?
We have. I said we're going to keep it tight, and we're keeping it tight.
What's up, guys? Back out here in Denver. Joe, it was dope seeing you up in Boulder. All the other Dirtballs, go check them out. So now our baseball season getting going. I was just watching this video of Nolan Ryan. So apparently he may be the fastest pitcher ever. Did you know that back when he was pitching, recorded 100 miles an hour, at that time the fastest pitch, they recorded the speed from 10 feet behind home plate, and Aroldis Chapman holds the fastest fastball at 105. Apparently, if they took that reading for Nolan Ryan in today's day, it would have reached 106 with a possibility of 110. So I pose the question, is Nolan Ryan the hardest throwing pitcher ever? All right, stay dirty, boys.
Okay. Nolan Ryan was a beast. This guy would work on the farm and then pitch a game.
Yeah. So there's a documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but it's been on Netflix for a while. Hopefully it's still there. Called Fastball. All about the fastball. They talk about basically the evolution of pitching. And one of the things that they tackle is the hardest thrown pitch of all time and the various ways that they have used to measure it, which included, back in the day, a guy riding a motorcycle 100 miles an hour. Yeah. Or throwing it through 2 plates of glass and then judging the distance between that. Obviously, radar guns have changed through the years.
Wait a second. Let's back this up. You mean to tell me they would rate a pitch's velocity by throwing it through glass?
Yeah. There's a couple different methods to throw it through glass. Throw it like Nick said, Bob Feller throwing it while a motorcycle is driving by him. So there's been things.
It's a great video.
The radars have changed through the years. They used to measure it out of a pitcher's hand. They used to measure it as across the plate. They used to measure it halfway. There is certainly a case that Nolan Ryan was the hardest throwing pitcher of all time at a certain point. Nick showing you the video of the motorcycle.
This Bob Feller motorcycle video is so funny.
Yeah. It's ridiculous because timing it up is how do you make sure that you let go of the ball at the exact same time as the motorcycle that
the
rides?
motorcycle actually got a head start in this video, but Bob Feller's fastball actually gets there before the motorcycle does. If we look at the replay here, see, look at that head start the motorcycle has. Bob Feller winding up right now on a sidearm release, and his fastball is going to get there before the cop on the motorcycle gets there. Quite significantly, might add.
Why's he got to run through something?
So you
can see which one goes through. Now, so here's the thing. There has been an argument, and if you watch this documentary, that Nolan Ryan was certainly potentially the fastest ever, and that he was faster than guys that came after him. But again, the methods of measuring this stuff are all over the place. Here's what I'll say. I'll say this. Everything I know about evolution of athletes tells me that these guys that come up, maybe not the Aroldis Chapman or whatever, but even just the last couple of years, there was a guy supposedly throwing 104, 106. And a lot of times those guys who throw super hard are flashes in the pan. Chapman's obviously been throwing really hard for a really long time. Nolan Ryan throwing really hard for 40 years is like unheard of. But everything I know about evolution in sports is like there's no way that Nolan Ryan has thrown the hardest fastball ever. Just like everything I know about guys getting bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
The kid that had 2 days up in the major leagues a couple of years ago and supposedly hit 106 and went back down, like he threw faster.
Yeah.
But the documentary is worth a watch, for sure. It's great. It's a great doc.
Well, let's keep moving on these calls. This one's for Bilbo, actually.
Hey, you got Michigan DirtBall here. I got a question for Nick, and then I have a statement for Joe and Andy. I think they'll appreciate. First off is Nick. How do you feel about when all the Detroit sports teams all now play in Little Caesars Arena? So these big places like the Joe and the Palace are kind of just less sitting. I want to get your thoughts on that. And then the second thing is, as someone who grew up in Grand Rapids, lived in Mount Pleasant, lived in the Upper Peninsula, and now lives over in the Flint area, nobody from here brags about Kyle Kuzma being from Flint at all. Everyone talks way more about just this guy named Monte Morris. So I thought that was interesting, and you guys would appreciate that. Condoms are for the Western Michigan Broncos. Fire up.
Fire up chips. I love it.
Wait, what's
Is
fire
that a
up?
Central Michigan thing?
It's a Central Michigan
Okay.
thing. I'm wearing my Flying C shirt today.
The
as
Chippewas?
well. Yeah, the Chippewas.
You say fire up chips?
It's our battle cry.
Is it Chippewa a Native American?
That's right. It's a tribe. Got a casino.
So let's tackle the first part of this.
Yeah,
Everybody
so-
plays in Little Caesars Arena. So where's Little Caesars Arena as opposed to where the other things were?
So Little Caesar Arena is across the street from Comerica Park, where the Tigers play, and then Comerica Park is right next to Ford Field. So everything's in one central location. This move is good for the Pistons, who get out of Auburn Hills,
Right.
and it is
How far is Auburn Hills from where the stadium is
it's
now?
like 35 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we looked it up last night. I knew Auburn Hills was in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Like the rich white suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 35 miles away
Yeah,
from
and
Detroit.
they're demolishing it apparently this month.
Great.
And I don't think it's good for the Red Wings. So Joe Louis Arena, obviously classic NHL stadium, beautiful location right by the river across from Windsor, Canada. Gorgeous. I would have liked to see maybe kind of what they did with the Palace of Auburn Hills in the last 5 years, maybe remodeling Joe Louis, keeping the hockey town culture. I don't love all of the sports teams in one area because, yeah, it makes for great renovations and it makes for a great city life in that one area. But all the rest of Detroit, I mean, it's still kind of in shambles besides that area.
I mean, that's also just not just a convenience thing for sports fans, but I'm sure that the building of a new arena is, predicated on, we're going to put the hockey team there, and we're going to put the basketball team there,
And restaurants and
yeah, and all
shops.
that stuff, and the taxes and the kickbacks and the all that stuff is got to be factored in. I mean, there's not. I gotta imagine there's not many, if any, two winter sport like basketball, football towns where those teams don't share an arena.
Yeah, and also too, something that has to go into mind when you're making stadiums is this stadium is built for hockey, so you have to take that into consideration when it comes to the seating. So hockey, there's glass. You have to make seats that go up higher. It kind of restricts viewing. Something like the Warriors' new arena, the Chase Center, they don't have a hockey team, so that they can build their venue that's optimal for basketball and concerts. That's something that I think is going to restrict the Little Caesars Arena from being like a great concert venue. That's just my personal opinion. But you know, it's good for Detroit. You know, I hear Little Caesars Arena is nice. The fans seem to like it. But yeah, I'm not really a Detroit sports fan. Obviously, my Steelers fan, Pittsburgh. Can't get behind Detroit sports teams.
I did a deep dive on the Palace last night on Wikipedia. It was way ahead of its time. Like, they were the first ever NBA arena to really implement the nice suites. And when they did it, people were saying, what is this? Like, basically, they were way ahead. None of the arenas, it was saying, that were built, I believe it opened in 86. But when they had all these nice suites, again, it was always controversial from at least what I read, was that you put the team, Detroit, which is like an urban city, you put it in the rich white area of the suburbs.
Right.
So there was always controversy behind that. But, you know, it catered towards people that were affluent and with money. And
pretty similar to like where the Niners are now.
Exactly. I thought instantly of Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. So, but apparently, here's what's crazy about the whole Detroit situation. They recently, as of like 2015, put in like another $117 million in renovations at the Palace.
And now they're going to demolish it.
And they only played there 3 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be donezo.
Second half of the call, he mentioned Monte Morris, which inspired me to create my definitive athletes from Flint list, which will go by quick. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. And let me know if you're surprised by any of these.
Jalen Rose. Is he from Flint?
No, he's not.
Draymond Green.
No. Jim Abbott, the one-handed pitcher.
Ooh.
JaVale McGee. Shaqtin' a Fool.
Makes sense. He didn't drink the right water, you can tell.
Miles Bridges.
Okay.
Mark Ingram. Paul Krause. Glenn Rice. Terry Crews.
Decent little
Terry
list.
Crews.
Had a little cup of coffee in the NFL.
Decent little list there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get through these last 2 calls. Prano, a lot of people are concerned about these Yelp reviews for the Venice Way Pizza.
Okay.
So
What are they concerned about?
Well, people want to. We've had multiple calls. People were like, "What's going on with the reviews? The system?"
Okay.
We have some insight into the way Yelp works.
Hey guys, it's number 1 St. Louis DirtBall Calvin here. I just wanted to let you guys know a little bit about Yelp. So Joe might be a little familiar with how Yelp works from some negative going on over in New York. Yelp is essentially a mob scheme of protection money, where if you don't pay Yelp, and this kind of applies to Google reviews as well, you cannot remove reviews, namely bad ones. But if you do pay, you can remove them. So that's kind of just how it works, since everybody can see Yelp and everybody uses Yelp. If you don't pay to remove the negative reviews, all of your opposing companies and such will have their nice, 4.8s, 4.7s on 500 or so reviews, and you're sitting there with a 3.5 or so with even more reviews, and it doesn't look good. I know this from being a general manager of a local franchise here. So, yeah, that's the deal with Yelp. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Which, thank you for the call, is interesting because I signed up for the Yelp app last week.
Yeah.
And they specifically say, we won't remove reviews. You can't pay. They specifically say that. So he's saying that's a bunch of BS.
I have heard that before as well. I have heard that if that Yelp basically offers you a second level if you pay them, which help like where you can filter things, where you can remove you can sort of like maybe they're like it's kind of a blurry line thing, like you can't remove them, but you can protest that this is a spam thing or whatever, and then we'll hide it from blah 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 blah. But you're saying your review is gone, correct?
No, this is where my review's at.
Right. So they haven't removed it; they've just hidden it.
It's in a section. It's me, Nick left one, and 3 other dirtballs. It's in a section of not recommended. 5 reviews for Venice Way Pizza. That's the place, Venice Way Pizza, that are currently not recommended, including a review.
Are all of them by Dirtballs?
I don't know.
Are all of them 1-star reviews?
No, that's what's crazy. One of them is a 5-star.
And what does that say?
This is a must try, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it looks to 2 of them are 5 stars.
I feel like the fact that most of them don't have pictures.
Well,
is a
Nick
factor,
and I,
too.
we actually learned some things. So this whole Yelp thing, it's such a Ponzi scheme. It's a sham. It's such bullshit. So even the reviews that they kept clearly
are bullshit reviews.
So like this girl left 5 stars. All of them left 5 stars after the dirtballs flooded it. 1 review. The other 5-star, 1 review. The other 5-star, 1 review. No pictures. So the argument could be made that, like this person, Victoria L. from Rome, Italy, who's never left a review, doesn't have a picture. This is somebody at their business.
Right.
So
From Rome, Italy.
yeah.
It's hilarious.
So basically, we figured it out, and he was telling me some more stuff last night. You have to just act like you're more engaged on Yelp. So like I added a profile picture.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe review a second place. Like I thought, is it going to move mine? I went and I reviewed the local Costco.
Mm-hmm.
Gave them 5 stars, of course, as they deserve. But my point is,
They don't have your couch. That's not a 4-star review.
no, that's more on me. Watch the latest Andy Goes to Costco to get the full scoop. But basically, what were you saying to me last night? Like if you click on the address.
I think this was another call we had about this. If you are Google search, if Yelp sees that you're actively Google searching these places and you hit like a phone number or a link to this place, then they know that you actually went there and they'll value your review higher. Also, you need a profile picture,
Yeah.
which I just added. Mine is Marco Bellinelli.
But it's all BS.
From Rome, Italy.
Exactly.
It's all BS. Like if you look at Venice Way Pizza, if you look at this review, they didn't know what to do when they suddenly started getting some negative reviews. So then they had their people do it.
Yeah.
So everybody leave a review at Venice Way Pizza.
Add a profile picture.
And again, I'm going to say specifically just talk about the pricing.
Yes.
It was too expensive, or you're not trying it because it's too expensive. Because, again, I haven't tried the pizza, and I'm not going to try it legitimately because it's too expensive.
Well,
if it was cheaper, I would give it a shot, and I would find out.
The needle is moving in the right direction. They have now started to offer out of nowhere, and it's not out of nowhere. It's because of you, the Dirtballs. They started to offer some sort of happy hour price.
And do we know what that is?
I think it's 2 slices of pizza for $10 and a drink. Maybe at the rooftop.
We're not sure
Maybe at
if
the
that
rooftop?
means just cheese or with toppings or
Maybe at
anything.
the rooftop. Now you have to eat it on premises?
They're holding you hostage while you eat it.
I believe that's their new offer.
So now you get 2 slices of pizza, but then you've got to buy some sort of rooftop cocktail situation.
But I believe
I don't think that's actually like it doesn't have to be on the rooftop. You can just
We're going to
get
go find out.
Yeah, do some
Let's go find out.
investigative journalism.
either way, we will find out.
There will be blood.
And we will get a good price reduction once the Dirtballs are through. All right, one last call.
Yo, what's up, boys? This is Greg Feldman. I'll keep this short, but I just kind of wanted to know what your March Madness Final Four was going to be, because I don't think we've talked about that shit yet. But yeah, what's it going to be? You know, like, 'cause I have no fucking idea. I'm thinking maybe Baylor there, but honestly, I haven't really followed basketball that fucking much this year. But
This guy.
I'm not sure. So yeah, let me know. Condoms are for the Iowa Hawkeyes, New England Patriots, and the cocksucker fucking Houston Astros.
Jesus, Greg,
See,
take it
boys.
easy on the swear words. Come on. You're going to lose us monetization here on YouTube? Well,
All right.
The-
With
the reason I'm playing that call,
Yeah.
because I know nothing about college basketball this year. I've not followed
Yeah.
it. And I said this before the show started. Join our Dirty Sports Bracket Challenge. You can find the link on our Reddit page. Password is DirtBallFam, all lowercase. Fill out your brackets there when they're released next week. Sign up now. Go for it, Joe.
I don't. Obviously, we have no idea how the brackets are going to end up, but Dayton is number 3. The Dayton Flyers. We got it. I'm
Projected number 1 seed.
I'm supporting the Dayton Flyers. I like Dayton, San Diego State, the Aztecs.
Yeah.
I like sneaky. Michigan State. Michigan State. I feel like this is what Michigan State does. They're like, oh, we're 14. No, we're gonna get a 4 seed. And then we're gonna be in the Final Four.
Go Sparty.
Villanova also another one that is has been down this year, but always threatening. Villanova, San Diego State, Michigan State, Dayton, and I have rooting interest. Although they're a team that always kind of busts out early, but a little rooting interest in the Seton Hall Pirates. I spent some time in West Orange rooting for the Pirates. Go Pirates!
My prediction: the final will be Xavier Musketeers versus the St. Louis Billikens.
Will Xavier make the tournament?
Neither of those teams. Xavier's on the bubble. St. Louis needs to probably win the conference tournament, which means they would have to beat Dayton.
And I can tell you with 100% certainty who will not win the NCAA Final Four. Gonzaga.
I don't know.
Zaga. Who knows? Anyway.
Shaboring just wept.
Yeah. Anyway, Seattle, come on. Terrible place to play basketball.
All right. The hotline is 310-359-8365. Leave a call, and we might just get to it. Joe, I kept it under an hour 30. I told you I would. Thus the process.
Great. Now you can give me a ride to get myself some lunch.
Cool. Follow us on social media at The Dirty Sports. Follow me at Andy Ruther. Blah, 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 blah. My guy on my left. Follow him at Joe Prano.
At Joe Prano on Instagram, at Fix for Life on Twitter, JoePrano.com for shows, Hoover, Alabama, and
The Thunderdome.
Stardome. And next week, Friday and Saturday at Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. If you're going to be out there for tennis, there's no more tennis, so just come to the comedy show.
Nick Dale on Twitter. L is a capital I. Nick Dale on,
L is a capital I.
and then Nick Dale on Instagram. But there's 4 A's in my Nick Dale handle on Instagram.
And that Reddit page, if you want exclusive Andy Ruther / Nick Dale living together content, it only goes up on Reddit.
I mean, it's pretty much reality television at this point.
Yeah. That Reddit is lit with some wild videos and pictures. So go to that. Okay, Dirtballs, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us. Listen to the show. Have a great week, and most importantly, stay dirty.